everybody, it is your boy, your mind's Toxic ML31, back at it with another review, and today we are going to be reviewing the Hunger Games prequel, The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, which I was able to check out yesterday, a day early. And, but before we get into actual beginning of the review itself, guys, if you missed my previous Toxic movie review, spoiler-free and spoiler, they're in a playlist on my YouTube channel if you'd like to check that one out. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, we're on the road to 400 subscribers, just, 11 away now. Really help out your boy if you did subscribe. It also goes for people that watch my channel for all and haven't subscribed yet. If you missed my previous... I already said that. Why did I do that? I don't know why I did that. Also, don't forget to like the video as well, because it'll let me know that you do like my Toxic movie reviews, and it'll help with YouTube algorithm and recommend the video more. But before we get into the review as well, let's give a quick plot synopsis, shall we? So transition on, shows. Tyrannical president of Panem, 18-year-old Coriolanus Snow remains the last hope for his fading lineage. With the 10th annual Hunger Games fast approaching, the young Snow becomes alarmed when he's assigned to mentor Lucy Gray Baird from District 12, uniting their instincts for showmanship and political savvy. They race against time to ultimately reveal who's a songbird and who's a snake. Alright, so this is, so my previous history with the Hunger Games franchise, I've never read the books. I'm not really a book reader. I sometimes get in the rare mood to read a book. Probably something FNAF or horror or something like that. Not anything in particular, but, my history with the Hunger Games franchise, I really like the first one. I love the second one. And as for the Mockingjay movies, I think the first part is boring, and I think the second part's okay. And going into this one, I was hesitant. I said it in my into the theater thing before out of the theater review, where I said I'm a little hesitant towards some prequels. Like, there's some prequels that are actually pretty good, like the Star Wars prequel trilogy. All those are pretty good or decent, like especially Revenge of the Sith. That's the best one out of the three. And there's been some other ones where like they answer questions you were asking, but you don't like the answers. And then there's also where they answer questions that you weren't asking in the first place as well. So yeah, and I would just like to point out as well, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. I don't think I'm going to do a spoiler review because I'm not really a big Hunger Games nerd. I didn't read the books, so I can't really talk about really much spoilers, really, that can come to mind, so don't blame me. But with that being said, let's just go into the actual review itself. So starting off with the good, Rachel Zegler as Lucy Gray and Tom Blyth as Snow were both phenomenal in their roles. Yeah, so Rachel Zegler, say what you will about her comments about the Snow White stuff. She's phenomenal in this. She has a southern accent too, which she does really good with that. I thought that was gonna be distracting. It's like different. She makes it sound like she actually has a southern accent, so she does really great with that. Also, I think her character's really likable, and they do a good job of making you root for her, even though the first time I saw her pop up, I went, like, you know, because I didn't like her comments about the movie, but as an actress, I respect her. I think she's really good. From the stuff I've seen her in. And then Tom Blyth, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that right. I've never seen him in anything before, and I think he was the standout of the movie. He was a great casting choice for young Snow. He was phenomenal in this role, whether he's good guy or he, like, is on the brink of turning evil, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's really great in this, and yeah, the performances all around. Speaking of more performances, also Peter Dinklage and Viola Davis. Why am I stumbling on that? Viola Davis did great as well, of course, because they are very talented an actor and actress. They are both great in the stuff I've seen them in. And they're both great here, especially Viola Davis's character. I think she does a really good job of being this very crazy little scientist chick. I thought she did pretty good in that role, and she was very creepy and kind of funny at the same time. I thought she was pretty cool in that role. Also, Jason Schwartzman as the Caesar character from the first three Hunger Games movies. So, in this one, if you guys do not know who Jason Schwartzman is, he's in a lot of Wes Anderson movies, and he was in Asteroid City earlier this year, a very disappointing movie. I have a review for that if you want to check that out. And he in here plays basically the Caesar character and the two people that are commentating over the Hunger Games or whatever. This guy was the first guy that did it, and I thought he was Caesar for a second, but he wasn't. But if you would have told me that them two were the same character, I would have believed you, because Stanley Tucci and Jason Schwartzman look alike. I mean, just here's a photo of them two compared together. Imagine if they were the same character. Look. Yeah, there you could convince me that they are the same person. Kind of a missed opportunity, but I think Jason Schwartzman's character is a little bit different from Caesar's character, where Caesar's much more joyful. Schwartzman's much more of a, his character is much more darker than the other character is with the humor, and he's very he goes, oh well, and then Caesar, it makes it very dramatic. So he did really good in here. Well, and most of the laughs does come from his character, unintentional dark humor laughs. The music is another positive. All the music in the Hunger Games franchise, I think, is very great, especially in here. This probably has the best music throughout. It has Snow's main theme. It has and it also has some singing in here too, which they do really good with those unique songs in there too, which I haven't heard of before. I don't know if they're songs that were created by other people, but they were really great in here as well. So yeah, music, another positive. It's keeping the dark and serious tone through the most of the what? I can't even read my handwriting sometimes. Excusez-moi. Yeah, anyways, basically, this one's the most serious out of the Hunger Games movies in the past, because this one's way more serious. It's less jokey compared to the other ones, I think. And yeah, it does keep its serious tone, I think, throughout. Also, the world building of the Capitol. For the previous Hunger Games movies, it doesn't really focus on the capital much. It mostly focuses on the districts. And in here, they do follow and build the work on the world building of the capital. And I think they do a great job of that. And maybe this could lead to a sequel, further world building the capital as well again. And yeah, they did really good on that. Also, the cinematography and the way it's shot, it was absolutely beautiful. Another positive is the ending. The ending was really cool. And I'm not spoiling it here, but it was cool. And definitely a good way to end things up. Another positive, and I think this is the final positive, and it gave good answers to questions we were asking. Well, and I only had really one big one, really, is how Snow ended up turning evil, or some might argue he's not really evil. I don't know. But they gave good answers to that, I think. Now, moving on to the mixed aspects of the film. Like, they're not bad or good. They're somewhere in the middle where I'm mixed about them. Some of the gore they use for the CGI and snakes. They use a lot of CGI and CGI stuff for the snakes and the gore. I wish they kind of went more practical with that. Well, the snakes I can let slide because, you know, you can't have real snakes in there. That's going to be pretty terrifying and could end up killing somebody. But for the gore, they could have, like, used more practical stuff, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't really use it much here, and it's mostly CGI, which is fine. Something that they do with Lucy Gray that helps her out in a couple of times, I think is weird. Yeah, so, well, I'm talking about, I'm not spoiling here, but I brought it up earlier. I'm not saying what, but how they make her character survive, like, kind of throughout the film, I thought was kind of a little bit weird. But otherwise, it was pretty good. Also, oh, sorry. I'm trying to read my handwriting. My handwriting is so bad. I'm realizing that now. Alright, now I'm pretty sure that's all the mix. Now let's move on to the bad. Its length. I felt its length, well, let's just bring up the next negative. The third chapter of the story. This is split into chapters throughout the movie, and I think you can, for the first two chapters you don't feel the length, but when you go to the third chapter you do feel its length, and it does drag compared to the other two. All the other side characters in the Hunger Games besides Lucy Gray you don't really root for except for one or two. So that's another negative, that you don't have anyone really you root for except for Lucy Gray, with the exception of maybe two. So, yeah, and that is kind of a flaw that I have throughout most of the Hunger Games movies, because there's mostly people that you don't really care about compared to Katniss and Peeta and Finnick and all that. So, yeah. And as for the final negative, I believe, is probably I might not rewatch this one as much as the first two Hunger Games movies. If you guys know me, rewatchability plays a big part in my reviews. And this one, I don't think I'll rewatch as much because, number one, its length. It is the longest. Well, actually, no. It's not the longest Hunger Games movie, but it's still pretty long, and I feel as if they could have trimmed some bits of it. And also, this one is the darkest one, so there's a lot more violence in here and stuff, that I would rather rewatch the first two than this one, probably. But otherwise, yeah. That is my review. Now let's bring out the toxic meter, and I will give it a B, a toxic goodness. And if you're a Hunger Games fan, definitely go check this one out. And for people that are interested, definitely go check this one as well. This one out as well. And for the people that were kind of hesitant or whatever, probably wait till it comes out on streaming, or when just wait until it comes out on streaming. But otherwise, guys, I'm sorry if I blabbered on a lot throughout that review. But before we get to the actual ending of the review itself, guys, if you missed my previous toxic movie reviews I've done in the past, they're in a playlist on my YouTube channel if you'd like to check that one out. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, we're on the road to 400 subscribers, just 11 away now. It would really help out you, boy, if you did subscribe. Also, because for people that have watched my channel for all and haven't subscribed yet, also, don't forget to like the video if you do like my toxic movie reviews, because let me know that you do like them, and it'll help with the YouTube algorithm and recommend the video more. Don't forget to ring the bell for all notifications and schedule upload, because we do multiple uploads here on the channel every single day. Also, do share the video, because also, man, I like have some more people join that toxic fam. And do feel free to comment your thoughts on Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes down below. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Pa 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 pa. Peace.